Access to decent and affordable housing has become a struggle for many Europeans, with shortages and soaring prices in most EU cities. The diagnosis repeats itself.
We are experiencing a housing crisis.
El acceso a la vivienda es prácticamente imposible.
If we are comparing the situation 10 years ago and today, we could see that the prices are increasing much more than our average salaries.
We have more and more families in Germany that are spending more than 40% of their net income for housing, and that is really a very, very critical point, especially in the big cities.
House prices have risen by 47% in the EU in recent years, with the biggest increases in Estonia and Hungary. And rents have risen by 18% across the bloc. The crisis is hitting young people and vulnerable groups harder.
Ask all the young people who don't have access to the housing market. They cannot live together with the people they love because they cannot afford a house. They cannot get married because they cannot afford a house. They cannot have kids because they don't have access to housing.
For the EPP Group, one key to the solution is to build more, build faster, and make it easier to finance housing.
Building, 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 and make building cheaper.
At the moment, we have a lot of legislation on the table that will make building more complicated and more expensive. We need to critically look at that.
The question is how we could help to renovate, for example, the old apartments, the old houses, and that is quite huge money to invest.
We absolutely need to recognise that there's a critical skills shortage. We need to build people's experience and skills up so that we actually have the workforce to be able to build the houses.
And bring economic growth.
If we would have a new boost European-wide in the construction sector, this could be also a job machine.
Despite housing being a national competence, lawmakers believe the EU can play a crucial role in sharing best practices and tackling structural inequalities.
If you take energy, if you take environment, if you take standards for houses, a lot of things come from European legislation, and what is mainly for me to be addressed, access to finance. That the financing costs are lower than they are at the moment.
The EPP Group wants to make home ownership a reality for Europeans, not a luxury for the few. And access to finance is key to this.
I think we have some possibilities to lower the capital requirements for the banks, and that automatically means lower interest rates for those who ask for a mortgage.
But also to protect private property from illegal occupation, a growing concern in countries like Spain.
En este momento hay 80.000 viviendas ocupadas ilegalmente en España y por lo tanto hay que hacer algo. En 24 horas el ocupa tiene que estar en la calle porque es sagrada la propiedad privada. Y por lo tanto hemos pedido un registro europeo de ocupas y cambios de la legislación para que eso no pase.
Housing will also be a priority for the new European Commission, with a dedicated portfolio and a commitment to launch an EU-wide housing strategy.
I think it's very important now to have someone who has the responsibility as a commissioner to discuss with member states, to discuss with regional and local authorities on the one hand what they can do, to develop this kind of best practices, to show how others have solved the similar problems, as it's a European problem, to address those things we can do on a European level.
We need a proper plan so that we have green, sustainable, affordable houses across every member state, recognising there are different problems in different areas.
A balanced strategy to ensure that affordable and decent housing becomes a reality for all.